How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make Catch Feelings by HYALYTE. So this track's a request from one of the subscribers. He sent me on email and I thought, yeah, fuck it, why not? I'll remake that. If you've got any of your own requests, just comment them down below or pop me an email. I'll have a look into it and try and remake it. So yeah, this is what you've made by the end of the video. Great, so I think first we're going to look at the drop and then we'll look at the build intro after that. So yeah, let's have a look at the drop. Great, so the first element we're going to look at are the drums. So yeah, these are sort of really heavy and intense speed gauge drums with a fair bit of swing on them. Obviously the first layer of the drums is this kick. This is just a really thumpy kick and yeah, it's got no processing on it at all. It's just sort of thumpy enough as it is. We then have the sort of top loops. Just to let you know, all these drums are from my Speed Gauge Volume 3 pack. You can get that from the link in the description. The pack has over 400 different loops, one-shots and effects for making insane speed gauge. It's really hard to make good speed gauge without the right drums, so I definitely recommend investing in a speed gauge drums pack. Great, so the first thing we've got then is this top loop. As you can hear, there's quite a lot going on. There's like a nice ride in the background. There's like these little shots here. It helps to add a bit of like depth to it. So yeah, it sort of helps to fill in all the sort of spectrum. But then what we've done is layer that with a clap. And then another hat. Then we added another hat. You can hear that in the right. And then one in the left. Which basically makes the drums and the hats wider. As you can see here, they're panned all the way left, all the way right. And then on top of that, we've got this. Sort of like a shaker. It's going up and down. And then on top, we've got this ride. Pretty simple ride going up and down. But yeah, as you can hear, there's a lot of layers. And yeah, they just sound really fat and sort of fill out all the sort of spectrum. So with speed gauge, there's not really a lot of elements in the track. So there's just like the bass, the drums and the vocal and maybe a lead. So yeah, I really recommend sort of layering your drums or using like high quality loops like this one, because this sort of does carry it. If you get rid of that, this loop carries it. So yeah, that pack obviously has loads of different loops. So you can just go here, top loops. Just drag them in like this. In terms of processing, I've got this glue compressor and it's the full parallel preset. So just come here and search full parallel glue compressor. You can just drag it in like that. I've kept all the other things the same. Dry wet's at 50. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the drums. Obviously in the intro, they've got this auto filter that's sliding in. Great, so the next element we've got is the bass. So let's have a look at the MIDI first. On the E, so that's the root note, and then there's just so many sort of melodic elements. So obviously there's no real melody apart from the bass. So the bass is playing the part of obviously filling up the low end, but it's also adding the melody because there's no real melody. So he's using like these pitch shifts. So he's going up an octave like this and playing around to make the own melody within the bass, if that makes sense. So all these high notes are basically acting as a melody. If they all drop, the track's going to be really boring. I mean, it still sounds pretty good because the vocal's really good, but it helps to add it a little bit more energy. There's a really nice use of space here as well, because obviously here it's very busy and there's no space at all. There's no sort of anywhere for like the drums or the vocal to breathe, but he's left a really nice spot here, which sort of stops it being too fatiguing for the listener. And it sort of gives that last bit a bit more impact. So yeah, these notes, obviously feel free to copy them, don't copy them exactly. Let's now have a look at the serum patch. So this is actually a preset from the UK Garage Volume 2 pack. And this is one of the older packs, but it's one of the packs I keep coming back to be honest. Yeah, it's just a very good one for speed gauge. There's also a few really cool presets for making speed gauge in this one. And there's some really good toppers. So say we've got this already, we can come over here. Do you know what I mean? It just adds like an extra level. Yeah, I think these are quite underutilized, sort of using a top on top of your sort of reese bass. Anyway, so back to the main one. So yeah, it's the Carl Reese preset. I'm going to show you now how to make it from scratch. Great, so click menu, initiate preset, go to oscillator A, turn on anti-status, and then go on B, select anti-status from that as well. Let's pitch it down by 2 octaves. It's going to sound like this. We're going to detune it, so let's go -25, -25. Actually, here's a bit of a click. So let's go to envelope 1. This is the amplitude envelope. So this is the volume over time. So let's just bring up the attack. Seeing that's completely got rid of the kick. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit more. Let's then go to this macro here and drag that onto the wavetable. So make sure that's all the way up to 100. And then we can use this to control the wavetable shapes. So yeah, let's go for about 36. This is obviously a taste thing. And let's turn on the filter. Drive it up. Maybe some fat. You could obviously bring that filter down if you wanted. Cut out some of the low end. I've just clicked this here, so this is like the piano mode. So it basically means when it hits one of these higher notes, this is going to open up more. See, this makes it a little bit more exciting when it hits the high note because more high end sort of comes in. So yeah, that is pretty much it. We can obviously add a sub. Obviously the one I've done is slightly more sort of refined. But yeah, you can sort of make this yourself from scratch fairly easily. You can also go on legato and turn this up. So it basically glides between the notes. So legato always, and then bring the porter up. Let's just check with, yeah, it's pretty much the same settings. I've also got fat all the way up and a lot of drive. And yeah, as I was saying here, I've got that porter up. In terms of effects, I've got a slight bit of distortion. And the ASYM one, which is probably my favorite sort of algorithm for the distortion. These actually aren't on, so you can ignore those. Cool, yeah, so I mean, look, it's a pretty simple preset, but yeah, it also packs a punch. In terms of effects, I've got this kickstart, so it's basically sidechain it when the kick hits. Land the kick to sort of punch through the mix. And then I've also got this Saturn. Isn't really doing a whole lot, to be honest. Great, and next we've got the intro bass. So it's just an organ. Very similar sort of MIDI to the other bass, but not quite the same. So yeah, obviously have a look through this. And if you want to copy that, then feel free. In terms of the patch, so yeah, it's a preset from the Speed Garage Volume 2 pack. And it's just like an M1 bass. So what you could do instead, obviously, if you've got the Korg M1 plugin, is just go to Korg M1, go to Browser, Solo, Prog, then you go to Organ, and it's the Organ 2 preset. And then that's going to sound pretty similar to that preset. So yeah, next we've got this riser. From the same pack as the drums, and then we've got these cool like effects. So it's these ragga effects. I use like a synthesizer to make these, but they're basically like a replication of like an old like dance hall effect. That's on like a few Speed Garage tunes from like the 90s and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically, it should just be one, but I basically made it. And yeah, then we've got this clap, pretty simple. It's like a clap roll, and then these big crash build. When making Speed Garage, Eurotrance, basically any high energy sort of dance music, you need to be using crashes. Without it, it just really doesn't hit the same. See, that pre-drop is just like, where is it? It sort of sets it up so nicely, like it's sort of essential. Like maybe you could get away with not using this effect, not using the clap, but I promise you, you need to be using crashes on all of your drops. Cool. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. I will see you next week. As I said before, comment down below which videos you want to see next. I've also got loads of deep house tutorials coming out soon. I'm either going to put them on this channel. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.